श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। ओम श्रीमात्रे नमः। So after a lot of prayer to Vigneshwara for starting us again, we have to start. So let us look at where we stopped. I think we have to start from there only. So where it stopped was in verse number 23, where we said, where Acharya had told us. Anybody remembers where we were? What was the explanation? Jagat Sute. Sitaji, I think you are on mute.
Sir, I will hand over the meeting to you.
So, where he said Jagat Sute, Jagat Su to give birth to, right? So Jagat Sute Dhata Hari Ravati Rudra Kshapayate. So the to giving birth, Dhata means Brahma. Hari takes care of. Rudra, Shiva, Kshapayate, destroys. Tiraskurvannatas swamapi vapurishastirayati. So he says, they therefore Sadapurva Sarva Tadid Manugranhati cha Shiva Tavagya Mavalambya Kshana Chalitayor Bhrur Latikayo. All these five things that the Pancha Brahma is supposed to do, Tirodhana, Anugraha, Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, all of them are being done by your giving an order just by lifting an eyebrow. You know, she doesn't go. Sometimes we tell that to our servants when there are too many guests around and you have to bring water. You look at your servant. The servant has been with you for many years. He understands your body language. You put your eye when you tell one eyebrow goes up. The servant knows, okay, you have to bring water. These servants have been with her for many years. They understand her body language. She lifts her eyebrows. They understand. Now let us get back to work. Otherwise, we will get some scolding. So then Brahma creates, Vishnu does the job of maintenance, Rudra does the job of recreation, destruction. All of that just because of the order given by one small body language change in you. That is the power of Devi. Then he continues in verse number 24, which we saw. Trayanam devanam triguna janitanam tava shive. Trayanam devanam triguna janitanam tava shive. Bhavet puja puja tava charanayorya virachita. Bhavet puja puja tava charanayorya virachita. Trayanam devanam triguna janitanam tava shive. Bhavet puja puja tava charanayorya virachita. Tatha hi tat तथा हि त्वत् त्वत्पादोद्वहनमणिपीठस्य निकटे तथा हि त्वत्पादोद्वहनमणिपीठस्य निकटे स्थिता ह्येते शश्वन्मुकुलितकरोत्तमसमुकटः स्थिता ये ते शश्वन्मुकुलितकरोत्तम मकुटाः तथा हि त्वत्पादोद्वहनमणिपीठस्य निकटे स्थिता ह्येते शश्वन्मुकुलितकरोत्तमसमकुटाः full verse त्रयाणां देवानां त्रिगुणजनितानां तव शिवे भवेत् पूजा पूजा तव चरणयोर्याद्विरचिता तथा हि त्वत्पादोद्वहनमणिपीठस्य निकटे स्थिता ह्येते मुकुलितकरोत्तमसमकुटाः त्रयाणां देवानां the three devas, Trayanam Devanam, the three gods meaning Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Triguna Janitanam, having taken form from the three gunas. Now this is very interesting. How did the Srishti come about? In Devi Bhagavatam, it says, the Nirguna, the unformed imperishable Brahman, when it decided to take form, the whole idea of form itself means it is Gunamaya. So the first form that is taken is the form called Adi Lakshmi. That is the first form. Where in India or where in the world do we have a temple for Adi Lakshmi? Any idea? Yes, Priya? Kolhapur.
I was about to say Mumbai.
Kolhapur Lakshmi, people think, oh, it is Vishnu's wife Lakshmi. No, no, no. It is not Vishnu's wife Lakshmi. It is not Balaji's wife Lakshmi. Oh, I have to go to Balaji, then I have to visit his wife. That is all some nonsense created by some people who want to make money. Right? The tour operator will make you travel all the way to Tirupati and then all the way to Kolhapur. So he will make some money. Kolhapur is, in the locals over there, don't call her Lakshmi. They call her Amba Bai. Great mother. And her form is very peculiar. It is not like a normal Lakshmi that you see. She is holding a panapatram. She is holding a gada. She has a Shivalinga on her head. Shivalinga is actually not a Shivalinga. It is the unformed cosmos. The unformed cosmos is held on her head. So she is Adi Lakshmi. Then from her body, she projected the three gunas. The three gunas, they took form in the form of Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Gauri. These forms, we call them Mahagauri, Mahasaraswati, Mahalakshmi. These forms, they split into male and female. Male and female. So Lakshmi split, Mahalakshmi split into Lakshmi and Vishnu. Right? Mahalakshmi, Lakshmi is split into Saraswati and Vishnu, and so on and so forth. I don't remember the exact grid. There is some grid over there. Now, having split into male, female, then they intermarry. Right? Vishnu and Lakshmi cannot marry. They have been born out of the, Vishnu and Saraswati cannot marry because they have been born out of the same goddess. They are brother and sister. Similarly, so they all get married. So they all intermarry and then the cosmos gets created. So here she says, Bhagawan Shankaracharya says, Triguna Janitanam. They are born out of the three gunas. So, Trayanam Devanam Triguna Janitanam Tava Shive. Oh Shive, they have been born out of the three gunas that you projected. Bhavet Puja Puja Tava Charanayoho. So they become worshipable, first one, puja, by worshipping, second puja, tava charanayoho. So they have become worshipable because they worship your feet. They don't have any independent power. It is because they worship your feet that they are worshipable. See, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, what is better than serving the Lord? What is better than serving the Lord?
To be near him. Proximity.
No.
Washing the feet.
That is also service. Serving the devotees of the Lord. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Washing the feet of the devotees.
So, serving the devotees. In whatever way. Serving the devotees, because we don't have devotion. They have devotion. Because they have devotion, they are worshipable. That is the concept here. So if we want to become worshipable, we want to become Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, then we have to have that sort of devotion that they have for the Divine Mother. So therefore he says, Bhavet puja puja tava charanayoho ya virachitaha, virachita being performed, tathahi, that which is correct. Tvat padodvahana manipeethasya nikate. The manipeethasya. Now we have seen that she lives in a place. Do you remember the place where she lives? It is the name. What is the name of the place?
Mani Dvipa.
Correct. Mani Dvipa. In the center of Mani Dvipa. In the center of Mani Dvipa has been described very beautifully in Shakti Pramoda and other Tantra texts. It has very beautifully been described. So there are walls, and between two walls there are prakaras in which there are things that are happening. Since one there is Gandharvas sitting, in another there will be Kinnaras sitting, in another Devas come into Yagyas, and so on and so forth. And each of these walls is made of various metals and or various substances, and they are each continuously higher than the previous one. So they keep on becoming higher and higher. And in the last point, in the center, she sits on Mani Pitha. So even her throne is made out of jewels. Mani Pithasya. So the go nikate, vahana means to be carried, to go near, right? To go near the Manipitha, to be taken near the Manipitha, nikate, Manipithasya nikate. So now if you look at basically the Manipitha, then the Manipitha in the body is the 6 Adhara Chakras. The 6 Adhara Chakras. Agni, Surya and Soma. Right? So we have gone through all these chakras earlier, so we are not repeating, but we have Brahma Granthi, which is Agni Kantha, Surya Kantha, Vishnu Granthi, and Soma Kantha, which is Rudra Granthi. If you look at the Lalita Sahasranamam, what do we see over there? Brahma Granthi Vivedinyai Namaha, Vishnu Granthi Vivedinyai Namaha, Rudra Granthi Vivedinyai Namaha, Mooladharam Sitambuja, right? Mooladharam Buja Rudha. Then we say Swadishtanam Bhajagataye Namaha. All these are names which we see her sitting on the chakras and going one by one. And these 3, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, they are representing these 3 granthis. They are, when they come near the feet, Tita Hi, they are positioned, Ye Te, near these people, when they are sitting over there. Mukulita Karottamsa Makutaha, keeping their hands on their crowns, bowed head on their crowns. They don't want their crowns to fall down. So they hold the crown and they bow. No, it's a meaning that the hand is above the head. The hand is above the head and it is a complete surrender. Complete surrender. Right? So it becomes, therefore, if I am doing any worship to her feet, the worship will automatically go to these 3 also. I don't need to do any separate puja for Brahma. I don't need to do any separate puja for Vishnu. If I'm not doing any separate puja for Rudra, it does not matter if I am worshipping you. That is the meaning. Because they are already there. So when I am offering to the flowers to your feet, it goes through them. It goes through them. So when Ishvara takes on the form of Rajoguna, of activity, he is called Brahma. Right? When this same Ishvara takes Sattvaguna, he is called Vishnu. When the same Rajoguna, same Ishvara takes on the Tamoguna, he is called Rudra. And he does Laya or Samhara, becomes Samhara Murti. So, yeah.
Very humbly, I want to mention, I have a feeling we've done this before, because I remember this line, Karotam sam makutaha. Well,
I don't remember having done this. Because
आपने शायद कहा था कि हमने क्वार्टर तक खत्म कर दिया था, ऐसे कुछ ऐसे याद है. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, let me just check. Because I checked the last shloka that I had sent. Let me just go back into the WhatsApp messages.
It's wonderful to revisit it, Guruji.
And I'm sure I have not told the story of Devi Bhagavatam. That was new.
No, Guruji, you haven't mentioned. You didn't mention this. That was today only.
No, I don't think we have done this. Because verse 25, Virinchi Panchatvam Rajati Hari Rapnoti Viratim, 100% we have not done this.
Yeah, because after that you have written, we shall be starting Tripura Sundari Ashtakam.
I'll tell you where you are, why it is coming in your mind. This similar description of the Trideva has come in earlier, verse number 13, 14, somewhere. That is where I'll look it up again and tell you. But this verse, I don't think we have. It's not there on the WhatsApp chat also. I have not sent this verse earlier. So anyway, so here he says very clearly, Acharya says that you do not need to worship anybody else. Right? So the basically, another interesting thing is, then when you do Sri Vidya Upasana, why do you have to worship all the Ashtadikpalakas? Then you do all the Ashtabhairavas, and then you do the Vahanas and all that. Why do you have to do that? Ayudha Puja and all that. Why do you have to do that? That is a part of a ritual process. But once you have touched the Bindu, once you have gone to the Bindu, then there is no need to go back to trying to find out what is. See, if you have become an expert swimmer, if you already know how to swim, will you get into the water wearing armbands, leg bands, belt? You won't. You will feel claustrophobic. You'll say, what is all this? I want to swim. Right? So similarly, when all these rituals, they are helping us to move through the process of releasing our entanglement with our own body, mind, intellect. So that is why the rituals are there. That is why these separate pujas are there. That is why we have to go through the entire set of doing all these pujas, where we can go through these, we can transcend these gunas. Now, she is the embodiment of all the gunas. Gunas arise from her also. So she is Triguna Mai. She is also Triguna Tita. So the implication here is that Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are just manifestations of her supremacy. And when she is sitting on the throne, you can imagine this in your mind. She is sitting on the throne, and you have the three of them standing in front with their bowed heads, offering flowers just onto her lotus feet. And then after they have offered, after they have done the Pushpanjali, they raise their hands above their heads, and they are standing there expressing their reverence. So Acharya is actually asking, if they are originating from her, why do you want to worship them? worshipping her alone, it is enough. The only exception is when you are doing a ritual for a specific purpose of that ritual to be conducted. Yes, you do all those, but you understand the purpose of the ritual. Another very important point where you have to understand, actually for that matter, in Sri Vidya Upasana also, once the Shodashi. So what is the sequence of Sri Vidya Upasana? If, just for the purpose of understanding, generally the first mantra that is given is a Ganesha mantra. The Ganapati in Sri Vidya, there is a specific form of Ganapati called Uchishta Ganapati. So Uchishta means Jhuta. Uchishta means Jhuta. He is a Ganapati who also accepts Jhuta food. So your mental barriers to what is good, what is bad, all that is broken up by Uchishta Ganapati. Therefore, all the barriers, vignas, are removed by him. So that is the first mantra. When that mantra siddhi happens, then the first mantra that is given is called Bala. Bala, we know Bala Tripura Sundari. We saw in Lalita Sahasranam that Devi was very happy seeing her having conquered all the sons of Bhandasur. Bhandasur के बेटों को मार दिया, तो उसकी तरफ चेहरा करके माँ ललिता मुस्कुराई. Bala is nothing but Devi herself in a smaller form, right? And we have a very specific name for her. She is called Bala, and the next name after Bala, anybody remembers?
Leela.
Leela.
Bala Leela Vinodini.
Leela Vinodini. Leela Vinodini. So if she is Leela Vinodini, she is like a small child. She is playing, right? So this play of hers has to enter us. We have to become part of that play. So in that becoming part of that play is the worship of Bala. So people take Sri Vidya very seriously, right? Oh, I'm Sri Vidya Upasana kar raha hai. Oh, I have to be serious. But you are playing with her. He has come to play with a ball with you. And you're saying, no, let us be serious. Let us study calculus. Integral calculus पढ़ने बैठो. नहीं, integral calculus नहीं पढ़ने बैठना है. बॉल लेके खेलना है उसके साथ. और उस बॉल के आर्क का जो जर्नी है, in that journey itself you will understand integral calculus. How do you measure the arc of a journey of a ball? Through integral calculus only, no? In physics we have learned that. So when you play with her, the entire knowledge comes. That is why you have to study Bala. Once Bala is done, then the next is to go to Chandika. So you do Navarna mantra upasana. So Chamundaye Viche, the mantra, very famous mantra. So that mantra is given. After that mantra is given, then the Panchadashi mantra is given. Panchadashi mantra has 3 parts. Right? We have seen that. One part, face. Again, Lalita Sahasranamam. Second part, from the neck to the waist. Third part, from the waist to the feet. Right? So, all the 3 parts, they are together, they have 15 letters. These 15 letters are given. After these 15-letter mantra is given, after a certain period of time, the Guru decides, okay, now I will give you the 16th letter. It is called the Shodashi mantra. So when the 16th letter is given, it is a fairly elaborate ritual. They do an Abhishekam and all that. But once the Shodashi has been given, all the other mantras have to drop off. They just drop off. So this is like when you're reaching the final stage of having merged, then you don't need all those steps. Right? So that is why when we remember this particular verse, we have to understand very clearly that even if we are initiated into any number of other mantras, once the Shodashi has been received, go to the Guru who has given that mantra and say, Shodashi is received, now I am stopping the other mantra. And now most probably the Guru will tell you that, no, okay, it is okay. Now you start only doing this. So this is the meaning of this particular shloka. We'll quickly chant the shloka once more. Trayanam devanam triguna-janitanam tava shive bhavet puja puja tava charanayorya virachita तथा हि त्वत्पादोद्वहनमणिपीठस्य निकटे स्थिता ये ते स्वन्मुकुलितकरोत्तं सम्मुखमकुटाः. Now we start with another very beautiful, very interesting shloka. It is called the Tripura Sundari Ashtakam. Most of the Ashtakams, they have been ascribed to being created by Adi Shankaracharya. I personally, I don't know if that is really valid or not. सचमुच में आदि शंकराचार्य ने लिखा है नहीं लिखा है किसी ने देखा नहीं है, but the language is very beautiful and the descriptions are also very beautiful, so let's study that. अथ त्रिपुर सुंदरी अष्टकम कदम्ब वनचारिणीं मुनि कदम्ब कादम्बिनीं कदम्ब वनचारिणीं मुनि कदम्ब कादम्बिनीं नितम्बजित मधुरा नतम्बजित भूधरां नितम्बजित भूधरां सुरनितम्बिनी सेवितां नितम्बजित भूधरां सुरनितम्बिनी सेवितां कदम्ब वनचारिणीं मणिकदम्ब कादम्बिनीं नितम्बजित भूधरां सुरनितम्बिनी सेवितां नवाम्बुरुहलोचनां अभिनवाम्बुदश्यामलां. Break it up over there. नवाम्बुरुहलोचनाम् अभिनवाम्बुदश्यामलां त्रिलोचनकुटुम्बिनीं त्रिपुरसुन्दरीमाश्रये त्रिलोचनकुटुम्बिनीं त्रिपुरसुन्दरीमाश्रये नवाम्बुरुहलोचनाम् अभिनवाम्बुदश्यामलां त्रिलोचनकुटुम्बिनीं त्रिपुरसुन्दरीमाश्रये कदम्ब वनचारिणीं मणिकदम्ब कादम्बिनीं नितम्बजित भूधरां सुरनितम्बिनी सेवितां नवाम्बुरुहलोचनाम् अभिनवाम्बुदश्यामलां त्रिलोचनकुटुम्बिनीं त्रिपुरसुन्दरीमाश्रये. So let us look at the last line first. Trilochana Kutumbinim. Trilochana Kutumbinim means the consort or the wife of Kutumbi. Kutumba means he who lives in the house of, right? And I am assuming that in the earlier days, you did not have people living in the house with whom you did not have any relationships. So you would have somebody who would be, she's not definitely not a paying guest. So if she's not a paying guest, तो कुटुम्बिनी, तो वो कुटुम्ब के अंदर है, यानी she lives in the same house as the Trilochana. Trilochana, who is Trilochana? Shiva, right? And Tripura Sundari Ashraye, I surrender to, I am taking refuge under her feet. Then, well, let us go by these words. She wanders around, Kadamba Charini. Kadamba Charini, she goes around, roaming around. Kadamba Vana Charini. Kadamba Vana Charini. Charini moves around. Now, Kadamba is a very special tree. We have gone through that Kadamba tree, especially in Soundarya Lahari, in verses 2, 3, 4. We have seen Manidvipa description where the Kadamba trees have been described. I have also told you, Kadamba has a very, very specific association with Sri Krishna also. Kadamba is the tree on which he does his Jhulan. Kadamba has very round, large flowers. They have a very strong smell. And during the months of monsoons, these flowers smell, the entire place becomes, and very interestingly, this tree spreads very fast. So it has these large ball-like flowers. Each of these is a seed and it just spreads. And it spreads and falls all over the place. And everywhere there will be another Kadamba tree. So Kadamba Vana, becoming a forest of Kadamba Vana, she roams around in the Kadamba Vana Charini. Muni Kadamba Kadambinim. She is, here there is a nice play on word. So Kadambini means cluster of clouds. And the word Kadamba here also means thirst. Kadamba it's a play on word. So Muni Kadamba, the thirst of the Muni, She is a Kadambini, she is a cloud. So when you see the cloud, you are very thirsty and you see a nice cloud coming, dense cloud coming, what will you feel? Ah, I am going to be relieved. Rain will fall, my thirst will be appeased. Muni are always looking for her. He who is a Muni. What is a Muni? What is a Muni? Jiska man maun ho gaya hai. Right? So if the mind has become still, then where is the self there? It is, as even if there is any identification left, it is still oriented towards that oneness. And then you are seeing that oneness coming. So she is roaming around in the Kadambavana. The munis who are doing meditation over there, they see her and they know now, wow, my thirst is going to get satisfied. Right? This verse has a very literal meaning, has to be first looked at. Nitamba Jita Bhudharam. She has conquered the Bhudharam, things that hold up the earth, right? Which is basically mountains. They're like the axles or the जो कील होते हैं जिससे पृथ्वी को पकड़ के रखा है. She has overcome them by her hips. Now, what does this mean? What has the hips got to do with conquering the mountains? Can you think? Can you give me do a manan and let me know what is meant over here?
Which is lips? What did you say? Could you please repeat that?
Hips. HIPS. Nitamba.
स्थिरता.
हाँ?
स्थिरता के लिए जब भी हम बैठते हैं तो स्थिर होके बैठते हैं, तो वो हिप्स के बलबूते पर ही बैठते हैं ना.
करेक्ट.
तो
उसके साथ ये पहाड़ को क्या जोड़ने? पहाड़ को उसने जीत लिया, इसका मतलब क्या?
It is more like the stillness of the mountains and the rocks.
Okay. Where does a mother carry her child?
On the hips.
On hips. नहीं, वो ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग करती है ना मदर उसको.
Mother carries the child on the hips.
Correct. Now relate this. She has conquered this entire world with her love. The world is the baby, and she carries the baby on her hips. So much of power there is in these words. Nitambajita Bhudharam. Sura Nitambini Sevitam. Sura Nitambini means Apsara. Sura Nitambini means Apsara. Sevitam. We have seen this in Soundarya Lahari. Soundarya Lahari में भी हम लोगों ने देखा है अप्सराओं की ब्यूटी कहां से आती है, उसको पूजा करने के बाद आती है. तो सुरा नितंबिनी सेविताम. Navamburuha lochana. Amburuha means lotus. Nava Amburuha, new formed lotus, like a lotus bud. Lochana, eyes. Navamburuha lochanam. Abhinavambuddha shamalam. Ambuddha here again means, Ambuddha means cloud. Ambuddha means cloud. Abhinavambuddha shamalam, dark, newly formed dark cloud. And what is the newly formed dark cloud going to do? It is going to rain. Rain what? Grace. Rain kripa. So two types of kripa. One by a shower of her grace, and the second is through a glance. Through just one kataksha, the drishti. Navamburu halochanam. So she, with one glance of her eyes, or by completely drenching you with her grace, she is the one who lives with the Trinayana, and she is Tripura Sundari. Let us do the shloka once more. Kadambavanacharinīm munikadambakādambinīm nitambajita bhūdharām suranitambinī sevitāṃ navamburuhalochanām abhinavambudashamalām trilocanakutumbinīm tripurasundarim ashraye.
I just wanted to point out one thing.
Yes, please.
When you were talking about that she created, Devi, the Adi Lakshmi created Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, Mahagauri, and then from there they split into two, into a male and a female, and so on. At the time, I was, now did the desire come into Mahalakshmi, Mahagauri, Mahasaraswati, or was it Adi Lakshmi that had the desire? Then I realized myself that it has to be both. You know, it has to be her desire to create the three, and then their desire to create the rest.
So why did that desire arise? That is the root cause of all this play. So why did that desire arise? Now that is a question that Shankaracharya refuses to answer. He says, by finding that cause of the desire is not going to change your reality. मुझे माया कहां से आई इसके बाद पता चलने से मेरे को माया से मुक्त नहीं होगा. So Maya by itself exists. Accept and learn how to jump over. So for a Shakta, for a Devi Upasaka, the answer is very simple. He likes to play. Very simple. Dekhiye, I always give this example. I don't know if I've shared this with you. You find a boy. He is carrying a ball. He has a ball in his hand. And he's jumping and going, right? रास्ते पे से जाते समय बच्चे कैसे कूद के जाते हैं. And then he suddenly tosses the ball. Nobody told him to toss the ball. He suddenly tosses the ball. And then he catches it. And he laughs. And he then again continues. Right? What happened? Was the ball in his hand? Yes. Did the ball leave his hand for some time? Did it come back into his hand? Yes. What happened to the boy? The boy just felt more pleasure. That's what she's doing. There is no cause for her enjoyment. So we understand that we are just playing along with her. If we become the ball and we start playing with her, our enjoyment also multiplies. Hey, mummy, एक बार उछालो ना. और मम्मी पकड़ के उछालती है तो जब वापस पकड़ती है तो हम लोग बहुत जोर से हंसते हैं. बट ये उछालने में कभी कभी चोट लग गई तो हम लोग बोलते हैं तुमने किया. तुमने नहीं किया, हमने बोला ना उछालो मम्मी, उछालो मम्मी, उछालो मम्मी. Our desires, our vasanas. So when we go there and we just say, fine, let's get bouncing, we enjoy the bouncing, enjoy when the head hits the top of a branch over there and you feel hurt. Don't blame the branch or don't blame your mother. Blame the fact that you wanted to jump. Chaliye, let's end for today.
Guruji, I had a couple more questions.
Yes, please, go ahead.
In Devi Bhagavatam, in Devi Mahatmyam, at the end, she is referred to as Brahmari, and that's what you were mentioning, Kadamba Vanacharini, that she's all.
So firstly, okay. So Brahmari, yes, she is referred to in one of the there are three rahasyas. There are three rahasyas that are recited at the end of the Devi Mahatmyam. तीन रहस्य जो है, रहस्य ये जो पढ़ते हैं ना हम लोग सोचते हैं रहस्य इसको चुप चुप के पढ़ना चाहिए. तो जब हम लोग पढ़ते हैं तो एकदम करके पढ़ते हैं. ये रहस्य का मीनिंग वो नहीं है. रहस्य means mystery. Mystery means even after you have read it, you have never understood it. That is the meaning of rahasya. So anyway, in that rahasya, there is this Rakshasa who cannot be killed or who has to be killed by multiple wounds at the same time. So she splits her form into a cluster of Brahmara, of bees, of bumblebees, and she pricks the Asura in multiple places in one go, and the Asura dies, and therefore she is called Brahmari. When we were doing Chandi Home for the first time in Calcutta, when the Tripura Rahasya was being read out, so all the Kalasha was kept and the Mandala was there. And when the Brahmari chapter or the Brahmari portion was being read, 2 Brahmaras came and started circling the mandala. And we have never seen a Brahmara over there. कभी नहीं देखा था. इसके पहले कभी नहीं देखा, उसके बाद कभी नहीं देखा. Exactly at that time, the Brahmaras came, rotated around, and then went away. What coincidence? And see, if you believe, it's a different thing. If you don't believe, oh, it's a coincidence. Fine, you accept it whichever way. Her existence is an undoubted reality for me. So we live in that reality. You had some more. Yes, yes.
The second question was, I put it in the chat, that Kali, who's
yes,
who has defeated Kala, is referred to as Mahagrasa Mahasana. So please, can you explain Mahagrasa?
So she is Mahagrasa. Grasa means what? Grasa means to swallow. Mahagrasa means he who swallows everything. Now she was born to swallow blood, right? She put out her tongue, Raktabija was put on it, and then they were killed, and any number of Raktabijas came. She just kept on swallowing. So from a mythological point or the story point of view, also she is a swallower. But she is Mahagrasa because she is Mahapralaya, Mahatandava Sakshini. After the Mahatandava happens, who is the only person left over there? Only she is there. Only she remains. She swallows Kala also. Even time is swallowed. So she is the Mahagrasa. She swallows everything. And she is Mahasani. Right? What is the asana for her? Panchapreta Samasina. Panchabrahma Parayana. Right? So the 5 Brahmas, the entire world and the cosmos of creation. So in these 2 names alone, you can understand he is the devourer, she is the creator.
What did you say? She is the devourer and
She
He is the creator.
Ah.
Please
Yeah.
explain vasanas, Anna.
Your question. So your uncle had written the right thing. See, what does Patanjali say in terms of yoga? How does he describe yoga? Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Right? In Yoga Sutra, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, he says yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Nirodha is to stop. Chitta, manas. Right? Manas, buddhi together. Chitta. Vritti, vibration, movement, wave. So every time there is a thought that arises, it is going to cause a wave. That is a vritti. Now, if these vrittis keep on flowing in a particular direction, right? Rasagulla, 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 Rasagulla. If that is the vritti, then what happens? It forms a channel. It forms a channel. Because it forms a channel, it becomes a deep-seated desire. That is called a vasana. The channel, if you don't fill it up, the road, if you think of it as a road, then there is a deep hole, your car cannot go. So you'll have to be filling it. So how do you fill it? Every time you take a berth, you make sure that you are staying near a mithai wala who is going to make rasgulla. Uske ghar ke baaju mein hi mera ghar hona chahiye. That is how the vasana happens. Correct? These vasanas become tradition. Samskar. So every time Samir comes to my house, I have to give rasgulla. So this whole process is a self-feeding process. What is the root? The root is vritti. Where does vritti arise? In the manas. Where is the manas? The manas doesn't exist. We have created the manas. So it is a self-perpetuating loop. It's a self-perpetuating loop. It's like an autoimmune disease. Right, in medical terms, once you have acquired that autoimmune disease has happened in your body, your own body has started fighting with its own cells. So it produces more antigens. Those again fight with now it's a self-producing loop which is going to continuously accelerate. And then you go back to chapter 2, verse 62 and 63, and you fall down that ladder, and your attachment produces desire, produces anger, produces blah, 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 blah. So that is the connection. So, vritti, vasana, samskara, creating more vritti, more vasana, more samskara. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.